equal that. And then another drive that showcased Boutte and Emery before Daniels paid it off with a short touchdown run. At this point, two things were really evident. Number one, that this would be a high-scoring game. And number two, Jeremy, that Jaden Daniels was playing with the most confidence that we have seen him play with all year for LSU.
Yeah, I thought that was the Jaden Daniels that Coach Kelly named the starter. I thought that's the version of him that they expected to play like all season. I thought when you had to have it, which we kind of haven't seen him do early on in games, he was playing out of his mind, and that's the best we've seen from him. And I thought that gave a world of confidence to the receivers on the outside, and I thought all those guys stepped up and backed Jaden. I thought he used his legs in a proper way, and I thought Coach Denbark did a phenomenal job, scheming up some stuff for him to use his legs, especially in the red zone. So, yeah, I think when you put Jaden 5 as a quarterback and your Chip Kelly, that's the version that you want to see for sure.
LSU's defense held Florida, forced a punt on the next possession, but yet another special teams miscue cost the Tigers dearly. A Jack Besh fumble set up Florida on a short field, and the Gators cashed it in for a 21-14 lead. But Daniels and LSU got it right back. And then an LSU stop resulted in the Tigers touching the ball for the first time with a chance to take the lead. And, Jeremy, we spent a lot of time last week on the postgame talking about how LSU, down 2 scores literally by the time the band finished playing last week, was forced to sort of, scheme around that. It changed a lot of what they were doing. This time, they never fell behind by more than a touchdown. They answered every score that Florida had. And then finally going into the locker room, they were able to take a lead for the first time in what feels like, quite a while.
No, it seems like that's something that this offense really just couldn't get done, especially in those last 2 Power 5 games in the first half. And I thought it was so refreshing for them to answer the bell, especially on the road in that hostile environment. It seemed like the roof was going to blow off the swamp, but you stayed in the game, and you didn't let those guys really, really extend that lead and get that momentum. And I thought not turning it over was a big piece to do with that, and obviously taking those shots down the field, which we really haven't seen when you were down those 7 points. Those are the 2 ways you got back in the game really quickly, hitting that big play to BTJ and obviously hitting that big play to Dre. So maybe see a lot more of that from Jaden. If he can do that, these receivers are very, very talented on the outside, and they'll make you pay.
LSU took that momentum into the half, and, hey, they got the ball to start the third quarter. In all, LSU would score touchdowns on their first 6 possessions, and they built a 21-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Then they played that Tom Petty song that everybody likes, and LSU's defense decided to stop tackling the way they had for most of the night. An 81-yard run by Richardson cut the lead to 14. And, Jeremy, I wasn't at that point overly concerned that LSU would lose the game, but I was concerned that on that play, there were any number of LSU defenders that could have made that play. It was going to be a first down. It was going to be a big play, but it didn't have to be an 81-yard touchdown play, and that was a little bit disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, you saw them early on in the game get that big touchdown to the back, and then you saw that play to Richardson. It seems like that bad bug of giving up those huge explosive play touchdowns are kind of, ailing this defense, and you saw Florida kind of take advantage of that with that big touchdown pass they had early in the game too. But I thought when Richardson had that touchdown run, I was like, man, that's the only way they can get back into this football game, and you did exactly that. But he's an extreme athlete. He's going to do that to a lot of people who had a very similar run like that against Utah. So you just got to kind of tip your cap when a guy makes a run like that.
Things got a little hairy after that. LSU was forced to punt for the first time. Florida was gaining momentum. They put together an 11-play drive that cut the lead to 7. And then the drive that would put the game away for LSU. The biggest play of that drive was a penalty against the Florida Gators. Facing 2nd and 9 from the LSU 39, Jaden Daniels threw his one bad pass of the night, an airmail ball over the middle that was intercepted by Florida. But the Gators were called for roughing the passer when the defender landed directly on Daniels deep in the pocket. It was a textbook 2022 roughing the passer penalty, something that would not have been called 10 years ago, but is called every time it happens now, and even sometimes when it isn't. This wasn't one of those roughing the passer calls that happened to be identical to when Tom Brady was hit on the toenail. This was a legitimate roughing the passer penalty. Not wild about all of the rules with roughing the passer, but this one was one. LSU kept the ball and got into Gator territory. Josh Williams with a couple of runs got him down deeper into the territory. 3rd down and 7 to Brian Thomas for 6. 4th down and 1 with 3:40 to go. and now Brian Kelly's got to make a decision. 4th down and 1, you're holding a 7-point lead. You're at the Florida 27-yard line, and it is about a 44-yard field goal. He kept his offense on the field. He did not hesitate, and this is essentially the same play that they ran. They ran it to the left side instead of the right side, but this is essentially the same play that they ran against Tennessee on 4th and 1 last week in the first half. But this time they had Will Campbell to run behind, and they ran it to the left side, and Williams had enough room to get 2 yards and the first down. So it was the same, but it wasn't exactly the same.
No, not at all. And I thought you kind of went back to the rushing attack you had against Mississippi State. You saw Goodwin pop that big-time run and then getting Will back in there. I thought just worked 100-fold. You're getting that rushing attack the way you have because, the way you rushed it last week against Tennessee, it made it impossible for anyone to have any success. And I thought they just did a phenomenal more job of, getting pushed when they really, really had to, something that they really couldn't do last week. But I thought in the swamp tonight, especially in that big-time 4th down, they were able to get enough push and get a big-time conversion in the game.
Penalties were not a big problem for LSU on this night, except on this drive. Facing 3rd and little less than 2 at the Florida 17, the Tigers were called for back-to-back false starts, putting them back all the way to the 27-yard line. When Daniels' quarterback draw lost 2 yards, the field goal was pushed all the way back to 47 yards. Were you nervous? just a little bit. But Damian Ramos drilled it. I mean, he drilled it true and gave LSU a 2-score lead that would hold up. Tigers win it 45-35. Some overall thoughts about the game. Number one, LSU was able to overcome adversity. They did it in the Mississippi State game. They did it in the Auburn game. They did not do it in the Tennessee game. This was difficult to go into Florida and win. This is not an easy place to play. I know this is not one of the Gators' championship teams, but it's still Florida. Utah, who just beat USC to knock them from the ranks of the unbeaten, did not win in Gainesville. So this is in no way an insignificant win. Jaden Daniels kind of came of age tonight. He did the things that they have been asking him to do from the beginning of the season. He threw the ball into tight windows. He gave his receivers an opportunity to win one-on-ones. He got Keyshawn Boutte involved. They even ran some checkdowns for the first time in this season, and he looked a lot more comfortable. It allowed him, when he was running, to pick and choose when he was running, even some designed runs, instead of scampering around running for his life because there was nobody that he felt comfortable enough to throw the ball to. So massive night, obviously, for Jaden Daniels, who accounted for 6 touchdowns. Against a suspect run defense, LSU piled up the yards, 180 on the night, and the special teams issues after the 2 big gaffes early were pretty much disappeared for most of the second half. Those were the good things. On the other side, LSU had to play from behind for most of the first half. Again, they gave up the big special teams plays, and they gave up some big plays. And they let Florida back up off the mat after they were up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But they won. And there were a lot of positives to take from tonight. Jeremy, there were ample opportunities where LSU could have, you'll excuse the Tom Petty expression, backed down and didn't. Mm-hmm. And look, this is a hard win. This was a toss-up game, a lot of big plays, a lot of swings, a lot of emotion in this game, and they won. This is a very good win for LSU.
Yeah, I'm always in the camp of I'm not ever too picky about how you get a hostile road victory in the SEC. You just want to get out of that building alive and mostly healthy, and if you can do that, not going to be too picky outdone. But I thought there are so many nuggets as an offense that you can take from this game going forward in the season. A lot of things you didn't see, especially when you needed to have it situations. You were able to make big-time throws on the field and take advantage of one-on-one matchups. You were able to run the ball when you had to need it. And also, too, I thought if there was going to be a leading rusher, it would probably be Jaden Daniels. But I thought for Williams, he ran the ball extremely hard. That touchdown, obviously not the touchdown run, but the run right out of the second half, that was explosive. And those are the type of plays you need to have, explosive plays in this offense that'll really kind of take this offense over the top.
How about Josh Williams?
Yeah.
You're running back. Josh Williams, they gave him a game ball. He averaged over 7.5 yards a carry, over 100 yards for the game, that big 50-yarder to open in the second half. I thought he was terrific.
No, he was amazing, and I thought that's the type of performance that you need on the road in a hostile environment. He ran the ball extremely hard. It seemed like the secondary didn't want any parts of him when he got a little momentum, and those are all the things this offense really needs. So I thought if Josh can continue to play like that, I thought he did a phenomenal job in pass protection as well. We know they'll dump it to him in the checkdowns as well too. So you can see why this coaching staff really gives him the reps that he's getting out there, because tonight he really showed what he can do.
499-9898 is the number to call on the LeBarish hotline. We'll take your phone calls when we come back. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College.
98.1.
Didn't play up to their capabilities the week before, and they were able to, go back to the practice field and really be more purposeful, be more thorough, and come out here and play well and beat an SEC team at their home stadium. So really, really proud of our group. So with that, we'll let you guys fire away.
All right, Tigers with a 45-35 win against the Florida Gators. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Let's go to the phone lines. Start things off with Charlie and Lafayette. Charlie, welcome into the show.
Hey, guys. Great to hear you. Typical great analysis of the game. There's a couple of constants that I'm noticing. One, I think we have the right coach in Brian Kelly because they bounced back this week, and I can see improvement. Two, the dominance in the SEC is slowly starting to change, as shown in Knoxville today. And even the great Saban made some questionable calls at the end of that game, not running the ball. And the third constant is the two best radio programs on this network are you, Charlie Hanegraaff, and Jeremy Hill, and Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. So the common denominator is Jeremy Hill. So all of y'all.
You win tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank
Charlie.
you.
Great job.
Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. That Alabama-Tennessee game could have gone so many different ways. There were so many plays. I mean, if we did a recap of that game, we wouldn't have had time for callers. I mean, it would have taken us 2 hours just to plow through the play sheet on that thing. So there'll be a lot of time to talk about that during the week. But, Jeremy, the resolve that this team did, we talked about this a little bit during the week. Listen, last week they got thumped. Just like last year when they went to Kentucky and got thumped. Came home and beat Florida. And that's one of the things I was trying to say last week is, look, this doesn't stay static week to week. Just because you play one way 1 week does not mean you're going to play that way every week. In fact, the opposite is true. You're less likely to play close to the same way every week in this league. Your opponent's got a lot to do with that. But even Alabama doesn't play the same every week. Even Georgia doesn't play the same every week. You know, Georgia beat Vanderbilt today by 55 points, but they only beat Kent State by 16. So it's never exactly what you think. If it was, we'd just, take all the money we could get our hands on to the window. But it doesn't work like that. And when you can rally and you can play like this after a performance like that, well, I think it says a lot about your character.
Yeah, it does, and this team's done that all season. Obviously, that Tennessee game is probably the one outlier you can point to, but if you go back to that Florida State game, late in that game, a lot of people thought they were in it. They found a way to battle their way back into it. Obviously, that Mississippi State game, one of the worst starts of a game you can get to, they battled back, and I thought today when you gave up some really, really big plays, and those kind of things can be demoralizing for a team with a lot of roster turnover, but they continue to battle, and I thought the play of Jaden really gave a huge boost of confidence to that offense, and he looked the most comfortable I've ever seen him all year. Being able to put the ball in harm's way, one of those big plays to Kayshawn, he fitted between two defenders. I never thought he would ever make a throw like that, and obviously giving those guys one-on-one opportunities on the outside, and I thought that gave receivers the rhythm that I thought they were missing all season. Those guys went aggressive and they went up to make big-time plays, and so yeah, that's the type of effort you need to give yourself confidence going forward. Kind of control your destiny in the West with kind of what happened in Tennessee today. So we'll see what happens. Not got to get too ahead of ourselves.
Oh, man, I didn't even think about that.
You kind of do control your destiny.
2 steps ahead of me on that one. I was encouraged by 2 things besides the obvious, which is that Daniels really did all the things they asked him to do tonight. One of them was that he got Boutte involved. They've been begging for that. So getting that guy involved, he had as many yards tonight, I think, as he's had all year. But it wasn't just him. The other part of that was if he had just said, okay, you know what, I'll trust Boutte in one-on-ones, but I'm not going to trust anybody else. Mm-hmm. That would have been an improvement, but it wouldn't have been enough. He had balls to Malik Neighbors, to Jeray Jenkins, to Brian Thomas. I know the one on the near sideline deep in the second half got called back, which I thought was kind of a ticky-tack review, but okay, whatever. Point was he gave his receiver an opportunity to go up and make a play. And this is just me watching on TV, but I thought the receivers were really into it tonight. It was like, yes, this is what we've been waiting for. Yeah. Instead of the looks of frustration that we've seen all year, it was like, yes, throw me the ball. I'll go get it. I'll trust me. I'll go up and I'll make a play.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what they've been wanting all year, and I think that's kind of what Jaden's kind of had to slowly grow and start to believe in. And I thought kind of getting that interception out of the way last week could do a huge boost of confidence from him. Like, man, the goose egg's gone. I've thrown an interception. Let's play football, and that's exactly what he did today. And I've been saying it all along. It's like that's the strong suit of your football team. You got so many weapons on the outside that can really be one-on-one matchup nightmares. And Jaden gave them opportunities tonight to go make those one-on-one plays. So I think they were so happy too because they know this thing is kind of something that can turn over to the next week and you can kind of build off of that. If Jaden can be that comfortable back there, it was a huge sign for this offense.
Is this our friend from Malaysia? Am I right reading this right? That's Alzan.
Aslan, Charles.
Aslan. Okay.
A-Z-L-A-N. Yes.
All right.
Hey, how are you, Charles?
Well,
how are you, Jeremy?
I'm doing fine. It's nice to hear from you again. What time is it in Malaysia?
It's 12. It's 12 plus.
Noon.
12 in the afternoon.
Noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a Sunday. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
about a 12-hour difference. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for calling. What's going on?
Sure.
In Malaysia.
Yeah, a couple of things. Nothing much. We've got our election coming up soon, but that's nothing.
Us
a
too.
Couple of things. Do you think LSU will be ranked this coming week, and do we have a chance against Ole Miss next week?
Okay. Thank you very much for the call, and thank you for listening over in Malaysia. I never paid that much attention to the rankings, so I got to look. Down at the bottom, James Madison, Illinois won today. Texas won today. Kentucky won today. Cincinnati won today. Utah won today. I'm going through the teams that are at the bottom of the thing. LSU was all the way down in the deep 30s. Probably not. The two lost teams that were ranked this past week were Kentucky and Texas. They both won tonight. Kentucky got a win over a ranked team, so they're going to stay put. Texas is not going to drop out. No, I don't think that they will be ranked. I do think that they've got a great shot against Ole Miss. Look, Ole Miss does not resemble some of Lane Kiffin's early teams at Ole Miss, nor do they resemble his teams at Florida Atlantic. In fact, they are quite a bit the opposite. Those teams threw the ball a lot. Those teams went with great tempo. Those teams were really, really porous defensively. This Ole Miss team is none of that. They don't go fast. They run the ball like nobody's business. They had 3 players go for over 100 yards on the ground today, and they play very, very good defense. Now, that being said, Auburn ran the football really well against them today. And Auburn was in that game. They fell behind 21-0, but they battled their way back. And Tank Bigsby had a really nice game. And Auburn was right there. They didn't have enough to finish, but they were right there. They ended up losing the game by 14. So with the game being in Tiger Stadium, I would imagine that there's going to be a great crowd. It would be nice if the game was at night, but the networks apparently hate LSU. So, que sera. If you've got a team that can run the football the way Ole Miss, I think that's a reasonable matchup for LSU. I feel a lot better about them being able to stop a running game like Ole Miss has got than a passing game like Tennessee's got, if that makes any sense to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, anytime a team rushes for 448 yards in an SEC game, that can be pretty scary to deal with, especially when they're not just running toss dive right down your throat. They're running innovative ways to do it. But, I think if you're LSU and you're getting Ole Miss at home, they played their first SEC game against Auburn. I don't think, we think Auburn's going to do much in the SEC this year. So we can't get too ahead of yourself. If you really kind of look at that Ole Miss team and kind of who they played all year, it's kind of been, some really not really, world beaters to start, and they kind of got into the meat of their schedule kind of as the later half. This is going to be a huge test for them with LSU team who just got a huge road victory. They're going to be really confident, but I know when you're Ole Miss and you rank the size you are, you're going to be confident as well. I would love to see what the over-under is for that game, especially with the amount of points LSU just scored. I think it'll be pretty healthy, but if you're LSU, I think you'll definitely be confident against that Ole Miss program.
Clock's going to run. These two teams are going to run the football a lot. I would be hesitant to look. They score a bunch of points, but the clock's going to run a lot in this game. You're right about their schedule, though. They had all 4 of their non-conference games right out of the chute, and their Power 5 non-conference game, the one you're required to play, is against probably one of the, 8 or 10 worst teams in the Power 5 in Georgia Tech. And then they played Vandy on the road, and they played Auburn today. The best win was against Kentucky, which, honestly, Kentucky had every opportunity in the world to win that game in the fourth quarter. They lost the game by 3, Kentucky. They had the ball inside the 35-yard line 3 times in the fourth quarter and turned it over all 3 times. So, yes, that's a very winnable game for LSU. It is by no means a lock, but it's a very winnable game. Elliot in Watson on the LeBeige Hotline is next. Elliot, welcome into the show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, one or two things. I know that the special team coach isn't taking the punts and everything, but shouldn't you have somebody that you agree on to have back there that can not fumble the ball every time? And secondly, Daniels Wise tonight, why do you think he looks so much comfortable tonight than any other week? Go Tigers.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you take the Daniels question, but I'll take the one on the punts. I don't blame Brian Kelly or Brian Polian for if a player fumbles a ball. All right, that kind of stuff happens. I do blame them when the kickoff is getting ready to come down against Tennessee last week, and they're running down the sidelines, waving their arms frantically, trying to reposition people. And it happened again tonight. You saw Polian on the sideline. He's motioning to Besh to come up, okay? Well, if you're doing that when they're getting ready to kick, then Besh is distracted, okay? Now, this is no excuse. He should not have dropped the ball, and he left the game. He was in street clothes. Kelly said in the postgame that his back tightened up on him again, and none of that is any excuse, okay? But I would like an explanation as to why they didn't have their returners positioned before the kickoff last week and before the punt this week. Tennessee didn't change kickers, and Florida didn't change punters. They knew what their range was. The weather was not a factor, so it's not like you changed ends and the wind was blowing. He should have known exactly where to line up both times, and they didn't. And I'm sorry. It's not an excuse to fumble a ball, but you're a returner, and they're screaming at you from the sideline, reposition, come up, come up, come up. This is something I don't want to have to deal with. This is something you should have scouted. This is something you should have noticed in film work. This is how far the guy kicks the ball. If he gets a hold of one and kicks it over your head, hey, tip your cap, let the ball roll, and take it and go. If he shanks one, well, then he shanks one. But you should have a very good idea. 7th playing date here. You should have a very good idea of how far the Tennessee kicker and the Florida punter can punt the ball. Okay? Yep. And you should not be repositioning guys seconds before the play. So I do blame them for that. With all of that, I think you got to make a change. I don't, it's in Besh's head, I'm sure. They replaced Neighbors after 2. They replaced Besh after 2. They'll try somebody else. They sent who they sent back there? It was Greg Clayton. They sent back there, and that's fine. But I would like to see them in position before the doggone kick comes off.
Yeah, I think and Coach Kelly said that after the game. He said that's something that they saw on film. So they did do the research. They did know how I was kicking. But I think if you knew that going out there, you should have already had them lined up the way you think they're going to kick it. So, yeah, I think special teams all year just hasn't been, the level that you want to have it. I think you've won in spite of it, and I think it's cost you in some games that you've lost. And so it's just something that I think maybe the team's going to have to deal with. To think that you're going into week 8 and don't know who your returner is, I think that's a land that most football programs just aren't living in. But if you're this team, you're going to have to figure it out, and you're going to have to figure it out in short order because we've seen it time and time again really come back and bite this football team, and you're giving up points off of these plays. It's just something that you should not be dealing with if you're a Power 5 SEC program. So we'll see what they put back there. Maybe Clayton's the guy. He had that actual play where he tried to dive on it when he had no business doing it. So it seems like whoever they've kind of
this
put
shouldn't be
there.
This hard. Honest to goodness, with this many athletes on the team, this shouldn't be this hard. He asked about Daniels and his comfort level and why the light has come on now. You got a theory
for who?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah. I think I don't want to just put it just on the interception last week, but I thought that helped as well. And I thought when you just struggled to throw the ball, consistently enough when you had to have it. I know when you look at the box score, you saw 300 yards, but a lot of that was when you're trailing by 2 and 3 scores in the game, which is, they're just playing bend but not break defense. And so I thought for Jaden tonight, especially getting it on that hostile road environment, we've kind of seen this team on the road not really play well, especially that Auburn game when you have 5 yards and a half. I thought he just played phenomenal. He was comfortable in the pocket. I thought when he had to make one-on-one throws, he made target throws on time and gave those guys the big-time plays, big-time opportunity to make big-time plays. And so if this is a version of Jaden you're going to get, this offense is going to look a lot better than what we've seen.
You think that interception was that big a deal? He was that focused on throwing a no-hitter? I mean,
it definitely seemed like.
Throw some more ground balls. It's more democratic.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you can point to other times earlier in the season where you saw defenders drop an interception or him really, give those guys an opportunity to make a play, I just haven't seen it. And today you saw that on full display. Even that one where Kayshawn was between two defenders, I've never seen him make a throw like that. Before this game, but it seemed like he had the confidence to go out there and give those guys chances. And even that throw to Cole Taylor, I didn't see him making any throws like that. That's what a college quarterback's supposed to look like.
He made some terrific throws tonight and some terrific decisions as well. We'll take a break. 499-9898 is the number on the LeBerge hotline. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah! I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues. 499-9898 is the number. Tigers win it tonight by a score of 45-35. Troy and Zachary is next. Troy, welcome into the show.
How y'all doing, gentlemen? I appreciate what y'all do at the end of the games at night.
Thank you.
Y'all give some great insight. Charlie, I've been listening to you since the old AM days.
It's been a minute. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to ask y'all, what do y'all think individually or either or collectively, whichever? What do y'all actually think about Matt House? A true perspective on Matt House and what he's doing.
Well, I like what he has done from this standpoint. When he got here, he didn't really know what kind of hand he had been dealt, and there were some mistakes probably made at the beginning, but they corrected them quickly. They made some personnel decisions that I thought were good. They made some schematic changes that I thought helped. For instance, just if you look back at the Florida State game where Florida State was 7 of 11 on third down, to what LSU is now. Tonight, Florida put some points on the board, but they were able to get them off the field. It was 7 out of 15 if you count the fourth downs, which you have to here. I don't think he's perfect. I think it's hard to play defense the way the rules are constructed now and the way the offenses are constructed now. But I think the guy's going to be a head coach, not in the far too distant future, not necessarily next year, but I think he's head coach material, and I like what I've seen. Jeremy?
Yeah, no, I definitely think anytime you kind of have those big plays you've given up against a Florida team today and then kind of that Tennessee performance, but I think Tennessee's going to do that against anybody. I look at, the turnovers they forced, against Mississippi State when you had to have them, and then obviously you look at that Auburn game, the turnovers that they forced and shutting them out in the second half. This defense is play scrapping. They've got stops when they need to. And in a game like today, you kind of let Florida back in it with the big plays, but when they had to have stops at the end, they got those stops. And so looking at this roster, I think Mason Smith will go a huge part if he was in the middle of that defensive line. That's a big piece that they're missing. And obviously, I think Perkins should get a little more love, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, every time I see him on the field, he's doing something. So I don't know if he's ever going to start this season. Maybe they're just trying to hold him out. But just looking at this defense and getting cornerbacks in and out of the lineup hurt and safeties, missing Major Burns, I think that's a big piece of, not giving up those big deep plays on the field. This defense isn't fully whole, but I think with all that being said, Matt House has done, a good job of with the hand he's been dealt, and he's got some big-time stops when he had to have them.
When they have big plays, okay, I'm less likely to pin it on the coordinator than I am that either somebody missed an assignment or the other guy made a great play. I'll give you a couple examples. Tonight, the 50-yard touchdown pass. Well, Converse is there, okay, but he doesn't make the play. He's where he's supposed to be, sort of, okay? I mean, it's not a busted coverage, but the quarterback and the receiver make a play over the top of him, all right? The kid's in position. He just didn't make the play. The 81-yard touchdown run. This is 3, 4, maybe 5 players that were in position to at least knock him off stride, and none of them do. That's not on the coordinator to me. Now, in the game against Florida State, when you got guys running wide open time and time again, and it's very, very easy for them to convert on third downs, and you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback, then I got a problem with the coordinator there. But tonight I was disappointed that they, you allowed a couple of big plays, and then you kind of let your guard down at the beginning of the fourth quarter. But you got enough stops. You got enough stops to win. I thought tonight. Jules from Abbeville is next. Jules, welcome into the show.
Hey there, how y'all doing?
Good, Jules. How are you?
Hey, doing fine. Little shout out first off to Austin and Aaron Nola, who are having good postseasons and are still alive.
What are the Padres doing right now? The Padres
3-0.
Okay.
Last I saw.
Yeah, it's 3-0 Dodgers, but the Padres have got the series lead. So if the Dodgers hang on there, they'll go to Game 5, and the Phillies are through to the NLCS. So yeah, and boy, Aaron Nola pitched his behind off yesterday. He was great. Only allowed one hit through, I think it was 6 innings. So yeah, good call.
Yep. Bregman's still alive, too, with the Astros. They swept the Mariners. So
18 innings tonight, 1-0.
that was a marvelous game. I watched the last 15 innings.
Wow. 1-0, 18-inning game to eliminate Seattle from the playoffs.
Okay, Charlie, the fair catch, was that, I didn't see it. Did Besh call a fair catch in Muffet? Or
He did not. He did not. He probably should have. The hang time was pretty significant. Kelly had a watch on it, had a stopwatch on it. He said it was over 4 seconds. So he probably would have been. Kelly said in the interview at halftime that he would have been better off calling for a fair catch, but he didn't.
Yeah, there's a local sports radio guy here that thinks every punch should just be left to hit the ground and don't risk anything. So, Jeremy, I was hoping I would never hear that again. Toss, dive. I think that's the worst play ever invented, and I know Les ran it 20 times a game. So what was your thought on running the toss dive?
Got into the league.
I mean, I've scored some big time touchdowns on that play, so I can't crap on it too hard. But I think when you build an identity with a football team, you got to run the stuff you had. And that's what's recruiting 340-pound, 330-pound linemen, recruiting running backs 225 plus, and have 4 or 5 of them every year. So that's the kind of plays you got to run, downhill running that with a little lead left, lead right, and that's what you had, and you had to deal with it for 4 quarters. He won a lot of games doing it. Was it the most innovative, pretty football to watch? That'd be up to you to say, but yeah, the guy won a lot of games running that play.
Thank you, Jules. I appreciate it. I share a funny moment with you. I was watching the South Carolina game, the huge game that you had with a friend of mine, several friends, and they were less than enthusiastic. South Carolina was ranked, I think, 3rd in the country. Yeah. Less than enthusiastic about the play calling in that game to the point. And the play you broke, which was 50 yards, 55 yards, something like that. So they turn around, pitch the ball. You say, you see, he's running that same damn play again. By the time he turned around TV, you were at about the 20-yard line. Get ready to go. It's like, yeah, that was a lousy call, wasn't it?
Look, man, he stuck with it, man. And you just beat on people, and then next thing you know, you got 8 in the box, you get to the second level, you're in the end zone. So, yeah, I mean, you lost some games running it. You won a lot more, running it too. So I can't, hindsight's 20/20, but I think, Les, he won the national championship doing it.
They ran the little short toss tonight. It was the first time I've seen them run that. Had a little success with it, but it was to the outside, not between the tackles. I'm not sure if they saw something that they were trying to widen Florida at all, but they had a little success with that. They ran it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I thought the rushing attack was a lot more innovative today. You didn't just see the same kind of just inside zone get stuffed over and over, and you really can't get to kind of more stuff you want to do. You saw them mix some draws in there with Jaden. You saw them obviously do quarterback run setting like you did. They did some off tackle stuff just to kind of keep the defense off balance. And so you got a quarterback kind of lighting the world on fire with his arm. It definitely opens up the world for you to have a little more control of the game flow and kind of mix in more of the stuff you have in that playbook, because I know they just don't have, inside zone. They got some other stuff in there, and they're able to get to that today.
499-9898 is the number to call. We'll take a break. LSU wins at 45-35. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Shop, shop. Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style. Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues. 499-9898 is the number on the LeBarish hotline. Robbie in Baton Rouge is next. Robbie, welcome into the show.
Hey, guys. Great win tonight. Kind of had a question for Charlie and a question for Jeremy. The question for Charlie is the two calls, the Brian Thomas pass along the sideline being called back and the Perkins forced fumble being called incomplete. I'd like to get your analyst on that. And then Jeremy, question about the big plays to the running backs. Those passes out of the backfield, are those predetermined routes, or is that kind of a read and release? I'll hang up and listen and go Tigers.
All right, thanks. The Thomas play on the sideline, this is what I don't like about replay. This is never what replay was intended to do, but what it has become. Replay was intended to overturn obvious calls. It has not been that in years. Now you're going frame by frame, inch by inch, and I don't think that it was ever. I don't think it was ever intended to do that. I mean, I don't think that. I thought Brian Thomas had a clear control of the football. But are you going to tell me that the football didn't move at all? No, it did. So by the letter of the law, I guess. But I was never in favor of the game being stopped to review every play that the football may have moved an inch and a half in his hands. Now, if you're bobbling it, that's different. But did I think he was bobbling it? I didn't. But when I saw the play, I knew they were going to overturn it because that's the way the game is officiated now. And to be fair, it's officiated like that throughout both college and the pros and both ways. So I'm not saying that LSU got hosed or anything. That's just the way that the call is officiated. Same thing with the Perkins forced fumble. If my experience is if the quarterback has any kind of control of the ball and his arm is going forward, then they're going to call it a forward pass. Even if he is not gripping the ball, okay? If he's just got his hand on the ball and his arm is moving forward, you're going to get that call. I think that's a harder call to make. I thought that Richardson at that point had lost control of the ball, and he was kind of making a flailing motion and didn't really have control of it. I thought that was a tougher call to make. I actually thought that should have been a fumble, but I understand it. Again, that's the way that call is officiated. So that's sort of my take on that.
Yeah, I thought the BTJ catch, it looked like a catch to me. It looked like he popped up with the ball in his hands. He didn't trap it, but when you go in super, super slow motion, frame by frame, you see the ball on the ground, and that's just what they're going to call. I think in NFL, I think that's if it's called a catch on the field, I think they keep that the same. I don't know why they overturned that one. And I think the Perkins one was definitely a strip sack, and I think they called on the field a strip sack. I didn't see enough on the replay to overturn it, like him actually throwing the ball forward and the throwing motion with the ball fully in his hand. I just never saw that happen.
Doesn't have to have the ball fully in his hand though. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I wish that he did. I think the quarterback should. If you're going to talk about a forward pass, then he's got to have control of the ball, which I didn't think he did. But was his arm coming forward? Yes.
Yeah, I thought an empty hand was coming forward.
Right. He's touching the ball. Yeah,
for sure.
You get that call. I'm not wild about it.
Yep.
He asked you about the free release with the backs.
Yeah, that's just depends on the play. I think you've seen them kind of just run those regular swing passes. Last week, Josh Williams kind of fell and tripped on one of those big plays on third down with a lot of room to run him in front of him. But this week, he did a lot better job keeping his feet and running hard. But it just depends on the play. Sometimes you're going to have a design play where it's a 5-man protection and the back can have that swing route. And most plays are going to have their protection duties. And like you said, they do some check release. So I'm not in the huddle. I don't know which particular one they're calling, but I'm sure they have both in this offense.
499-9898 on the LeBear's hotline. Carla is in Walker. Carla, welcome into the show.
Hey, Henny and Jeremy.
Hey, Carla.
How y'all?
Good.
Great.
Okay. I got a psychological question.
Oh, okay.
I believe in Brian Kelly's process. I'm beginning to believe. I really am. But his analytical play calling.
What are you talking? Are you talking about the fourth downs, or are you talking about what when you say analytics? What are you?
No. I heard on air today, their play callers, offensive and defensive, have a book to follow.
Well, everybody's got a book. Everybody's got a playbook.
Okay. Anyway, he believes in it. My question is, with his analytical play calling, do you think that he's learning about the SEC different since he's here?
I think he's learning a lot about his team, and I think he is learning about his opponents. I don't know that it's got a whole lot to do with analytics. You say analytics to me, and you're talking about the probability of certain plays working out more than they don't. Should you go for it on 4th and 1? Should you go for it on 4th and 6? Should you go for it? Should you go for 2 at certain situations in the game? Those are things that I refer to as analytical decisions. Whether they run a toss lead or a comeback route or a play action pass, I don't think those things have much to do with analytics. But is he learning his team? Yeah. It seems like he's been here a long time, but he just played his 7th game with these kids, and for some of them, they haven't even played in all of those games. So yeah, I think he's learning more and more about his team. Learning the league, I think he's learning about some of the personnel in the league. But if you're asking me, do I think he is surprised by the overall speed in the league or the talent level in the league? His Notre Dame teams played SEC teams before. They played in the playoffs before. It's not like he never played against a team that has outstanding talent or was good enough to win a national championship. So I don't think he's surprised by any of it. Does he know a little bit more about the particulars of certain personnel? Yeah, I think so. After 7 weeks, he should. But I don't think it's got anything to do with analytics.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're clearly looking at in situational football to times, whether you're in that friend zone, whether you should kick a field goal or go for it, and obviously if you may need to punt it or go for it, that's really the only time you're really looking at the analytics. And obviously probably you're looking at more, things as far as football goes in the SEC. I don't know how much the analytics are going to change any of that stuff. I think you're game planning for particular opponents week in and week out. You're game planning for particular defenses. If you're going against a weird defense like Mississippi State, it's a 3-3-5. You got a game plan for that kind of stuff. I don't think much analytics are going to go into that. So, yeah, appreciate caller for calling, but I don't think that's a big time thing of what they're looking at.
So there was one place where he could have used analytics tonight. One specific one that I'm going to refer to, and that's the 4th and 1 with 3:40 to go, and he's down on the 27-yard line. Okay, my feel is that's more about flow of the game. In other words, I don't want to know how many 4th and 1s from the 27-yard line in the fourth quarter have been made before this. That doesn't matter to me if I'm Brian Kelly at that point. At that point, it's about feel. Do I think that this back behind this line can make 1 yard and prolong this drive? Because if you run 100 scenarios, it doesn't really matter if 30 of them, were converted into Big 12 on 4th and 1 in this exact same situation, or in the ACC, or even in other SEC games. At that point, it's about, hey, do we think that we can make a yard here and throw the analytics out the window? There's other times where I think analytics are useful. Should I go for 2 in this situation? Do I give myself more chances to win? They used to call it a chart. You had to chart instead of the analytics. Yeah. But I would not have if I was Brian Kelly, that 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, Jeremy, with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go to beat the University of Florida, somebody comes to me with the analytics and says, Coach, this is what, hey, thank you, but I got this, okay? Yeah. We're either gonna go for it or we're not based on how I feel right now. And they went for it and they made it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think game flow has a lot to do with it. If you had a rushing attack that kind of looked a lot like it did against Tennessee, and the analytics will tell you, no, go for this, and you're really having a tough time blocking them for a yard, you probably make a different decision. I think that's what the great coaches can do. They know when to kind of go for it. They know when to kind of, pull it back and kind of use their special teams to win football games. So I know it's kind of the cool talking point now, especially in this modern day age of football, pro football focus and analytics, and advanced analytics and all that stuff. But sometimes just having a nice feel for the game can definitely help you win football games.
Like, okay, the end of, and I don't know if you got a chance to see the end of Utah and USC. Game ended 43-42, Utah. Utah scored with, I think it was 20 seconds to go, maybe a little bit more than that, 30 seconds to go, to make it 42-41 USC. They have been going up and down the field. I think there was 1,000 yards of total offense. Kyle Whittingham made a decision right there. I'm going to win the game or lose it right here. Because if I give the ball back to Caleb Williams, USC is going to score every time we give them the ball. We've been playing for 60 minutes, and we no longer have the capability to stop them unless they make some kind of egregious mistake and make a fumble or, throw a pass that gets batted at the line or something. We're not going to stop them again. Our best chance to win the game right here is to make one play for 3 yards to win the game. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, I'll live with the consequences. But I know I've got a better chance of making 3 yards on this play than I do of stopping Caleb Williams. I get that. If I was doing the show in Salt Lake City and they had gone for 2 and they had missed, I'd have said, you know what? I'm with the coach here. Win it or lose it, because there's a great player on the other side, and that's it. Let me give you another one. If Tennessee had missed a field goal and they had gone to overtime, do you think that there would have been any stops in that overtime?
They changed the rules for a reason. They would have been going for 2 every other possession.
There would not have been a stop in the first 2 overtimes. Tennessee and Alabama would have both scored 2 touchdowns. They both would have kicked the extra point in the first overtime. They both would have gone for 2 in the second overtime, and there's a pretty good chance they would have made it. That game would have been decided, if it had gone to overtime, in my opinion, on a 2-point conversion. So, and I got to feel like Whittingham felt the same way. If I go to overtime, it's eventually going to come down to a 2-point conversion anyway because we're not going to stop Williams. And at that point, USC's defense was pretty gassed too. So let's just do it now. We got the momentum. Stadium's behind us. We've driven the length of the field. We got it all going right here. We got to play in our pocket, which they didn't because the quarterback ended up scrambling into the end zone. But I'm going to win it right here.
Yeah. No. I think at certain times in football, you got to have that mentality that throw the analytics out the window, throw the charts out the window, throw all that stuff out. If we can't get a yard, then we're not the football team that we may think we are. We got to go find a way to go out there and do that. And I thought with the way the offensive line was blocking all game, doing a phenomenal job for Josh Williams and giving some holes for Jaden to run through as well. You got to go for it in that situation. And even if you don't get it, you are at the mercy of them going for 2, but they're going to have to drive down the field, score a touchdown, and go for 2 just to beat you. So I think in that scenario, you got to go for the game and try to win it.
499-9898 is the number to call. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Shop, shop. Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah! Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day. Tigers win it 45-35. Back to the phone lines. 499-9898 is the number to call. Jeff is in Tampa. Jeff, welcome into the show.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank Jeremy Hill for giving me the best senior year game experience when he put the nail in the coffin to Steve Spurrier's career with that 50-plus, I think, rushing touchdown back in 2012. So thank you, Jeremy.
No problem, man. No problem.
Appreciate it, buddy. But after seeing Ole Miss against Auburn today, give up 34 to Auburn, are we feeling a little better with what we've seen today with Jaden Daniels in the offense to be able to shut down Ole Miss next week at home?
Thank you, Jeff. They're a completely different type of offenses, what Ole Miss is running as compared to what Tennessee or Florida has run at LSU. But like I said, I like LSU's matchup better against a running team like Ole Miss than against a passing team with a quarterback like Hendon Hooker. And look, when the rankings come out tomorrow, Tennessee may very well be number 2 or number 3. There's not a better resume out there right now, in my opinion, but they do have to climb up a little bit. I think LSU's got a terrific chance to win that game.
Yeah, I think at home that's going to be a big part to do it, especially getting this win this week. If things kind of didn't go their way this week against the Gators, and you're looking at a team who's 4-3 with a big-time Ole Miss ranked team, maybe the atmosphere could be a little shaky. But I think winning this game and having a big-time ranked opponent coming back into Death Valley, even though it's a 2:30 kickoff, I'm expecting an electric atmosphere, and Ole Miss is going to have to play against an SEC West opponent on the road and see if they can kind of continue to bring that rush attack, because that's kind of what's been leading them all year. But I don't think Dart as a passer is anything close to Hendon Hooker.
No.
And kind of looking at the receivers they have on the outside, I don't think they have a guy that's going for 5 touchdowns in a game on that Ole Miss roster right now. So, yeah, if you're LSU, you feel really good about trying to slow down that rushing attack. And if you're going to get this version of JD5, then you feel really, really great about winning that football game.
You get mistaken for Leonard Fournette a lot?
No, not at all.
You just did.
Why is that?
Because you put the you put the big hurt on South Carolina in 12, but it was Fournette that was against Spurrier in his last game. You remember that?
Okay.
That was the flood game.
Yeah.
That was the one that
Didn't
moved.
they move that game? Yeah,
they moved the game to Baton Rouge
and there was like nobody in the stands. It was empty. Yeah.
Everybody was duck hunting her at some festival, and remember and Spurrier retired the next day.
Yeah.
And Fournette had a monster game, and he actually. This is how far we've come since then. Okay, you remember what Fournette did after that game? He wanted to auction off his jersey so that they could give the proceeds to the flood victims in South Carolina. And they had to jump through about 19 hoops to get that done with the NCAA. Now, you could go sell your jersey after every game, man.
Yeah, you could. It's just different times now. It took a long time to get there, but times has come a long time. I joke about this all the time, but it's the realest thing ever for us is you could have a bagel for breakfast, but you couldn't put cream cheese on it, or otherwise it was an NCAA violation. So that's how far we've come with this whole thing.
By the way, for all of the LSU fans that suffered through the 90s and all of the beatdowns that Spurrier at Florida put on LSU, that's why every win over Florida is sweet, and that's why the victories over South Carolina were sweet. Mm-hmm. Your game in 12, Fournette's game in 16 or was it 16 or 15 or whatever year it was, the year that they did the flip to Flynn did the flip to
was it not Jasper? That was
Cole David.
Colt
David, yeah,
Colt, it was Colt.
Got Spurrier on that one too.
Yep.
This was all payback. You see, okay, for those of us that had to live through the 90s and 58-3 when Spurrier was just having a ball. Okay, he had all that coming.
Yep.
Take a break. LSU wins at 45-35. Eagle 98.1 game day.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Stat Check. Presented by Luba. Luba, genuine dependability.
You score on 6 consecutive drives to open the ball game, you're going to have a pretty nice looking yardstick. LSU 28 first downs, Florida 19. Total yards, LSU 528, Florida 395. Passing yards, 349 for the Tigers, 185 for the Gators. Rushing yards, 179 for LSU, 210 for Florida. Third down efficiency, LSU 8 of 12, but they were 2 of 2 on fourth down. And the Gators were 7 of 12, but 0 of 3 on fourth down. Yards per rush, 4.7 for the Tigers, 6.4 for the Gators at 81-yarder, moving that number up a little bit. Only one turnover in the game. That was LSU's lost fumble. Time of possession nearly equal, 31-47 for LSU, 28-13 for the home team. Individual statistics, Jaden Daniels, 23 of 32, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anthony Richardson, 15 of 25, 185 yards and a touchdown. LSU rushing, Josh Williams, 14 carries, 106 yards. Jaden Daniels, 14 carries for 44 yards and 3 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns for Daniels accounted for in the game. Anthony Richardson rushed 9 times for 109 yards. Watch me upset my man Hester right here. But if you take out the 81, okay, it was 8 carries for 28 yards. And Jake and I would joke about that. He doesn't like to, well, you can't take that out. And the point I was trying to make was sometimes you will get one flukish run. To me, 81 yards on one is not nearly as indicative of playing bad defense as 81 yards on 6 carries or 7 carries. Anyway, Montreal Johnson, 57 yards. Trevor Etienne, 28 yards. Johnson had 2 touchdowns. Etienne had 1. Keyshawn Boutte, 6 catches, 115 yards tonight. Jeray Jenkins, 2 for 67 and a touchdown. Malik Neighbors caught 4 balls for 48 yards. Brian Thomas, 2 for 31 and a touchdown. John Emery, 3 for 24 and a touchdown. Justin Shorter, 3 catches for 71 yards for Florida. Ricky Pearsall, their leading receiver, coming in, 2 catches for 49 yards. Defensively, Micah Baskerville led the way for LSU, 11 tackles, including a sack and a pass defense. Ventrell Miller, 10 total tackles, including 1.5 for loss for the Florida Gators. And that is, they did punt once. Bramblett, 1 punt for 40 yards. Jeremy Crashaw, 2 punts, 56-yard average. Both of them inside the 20. Not a lot of punting done tonight. And that is your yardstick. We'll come back with our final scoreboard of the evening when we return. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shoppa style.
Oh, yeah! Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women, women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located
Eagle 98.1. The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln, on airline into the giant American flag.
This was the best card going into the weekend that we've had in college football this year, and it did not disappoint. Let's start you off with games still in progress in the third quarter. Fresno State leads San Jose State 14-10. They just punched one in to take the lead back. Second quarter, Hawaii leads Nevada 21-13, and they've just gone final in Vegas. Air Force beat UNLV 42-7. Now, earlier finals today. Number 1 Georgia shut out Vanderbilt 55-0. Couple of touchdown passes for Stetson Bennett. Game of the day. Number 6 Tennessee beat number 3 Alabama 52-49. So much to talk about in this game, but we're just doing a scoreboard, so I'm going to give you a couple. Hendon Hooker threw for 385 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did throw his first interception of the season. Jalen Hyatt with 6 catches for 207 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns for Tennessee. Bryce Young did what he could. He threw for 455 and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Gibbs with 3 touchdowns on the ground. Jeremy, this game was fun. We'll be talking about this game all week, obviously, but we'll be talking about this game for a long time.
Yeah, you definitely will. And I think, it was just a great slate of football today. I think that was, you got to give credit to the day of college football when you start the day off with some of the matchups you had. And obviously we know about the big, Tennessee and Alabama game, and then obviously our Tigers, coming in and coming up strong. And Notre Dame lose. I know a lot of people in the chat, they keep bringing that up. A lot of people are extremely happy with Notre Dame's fortune. I don't know why, but I don't know.
Stanford's been struggling. That was a surprising outcome. Number 4 Clemson beat Florida State 34-28. Number 5 Michigan beat number 10 Penn State 41-17. This game really was not that close. Michigan led 16-14 at the half. They had out first down Penn State 18-1 at the half, but a pick 6 and a long run by the quarterback Clifford had kept Penn State close. But again, that wasn't nearly as close as the score would indicate. Donovan Edwards with 173 yards, 2 touchdowns for Michigan. Number 20 Utah beat number 7 USC, knocked the Trojans from the ranks of the unbeaten 43-42. Game-winning drive. Utah scores with under 30 seconds to go. They decide to go for 2, down 1. Cameron Rising, the quarterback, takes it in for the 2-point conversion, and Utah wins 43-42. Another exciting game between undefeated ranked teams. Number 13 TCU beat number 8 Oklahoma State 43-40. That was in double overtime. Max Duggan threw for 286 yards and a couple of touchdowns for the Horned Frogs. Number 9 Ole Miss, LSU's next opponent, goes to 7-0, 3-0 in the conference with a 48-34 win over Auburn. There was a rain delay in the fourth quarter, but Ole Miss gets the win. Jackson Dart ended up throwing 3 touchdown passes in this game, but 3 different Ole Miss players, including Dart, all went for over 100 yards. Rebels would rush for 448 on the day against Auburn. Another matchup of ranked teams. Number 18 Syracuse beat number 15 NC State 24-9. NC State got word before the game their starting quarterback out for the season. Number 22 Kentucky came from behind to beat number 16 Ole Miss, Mississippi State, 27-17. Will Levis did play in this game. He threw for 230 yards and a touchdown, but it was Chris Rodriguez who was the big star for Kentucky, 196 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Oklahoma bounced back after getting beat 49-0 last week in Red River. They beat number 19 Kansas 52-42. Dylan Gabriel returned after a week absence. He threw for 403 yards and 2 touchdowns. Number 22 Texas hung on against Iowa State 24-21. Bijan Robinson 135 yards on the ground. Number 24 Illinois beat Minnesota 26-14. Illinois now 6-1 on the season. Georgia Southern beat number 25 James Madison, handed them their first loss of the season 45-38. It was Army over Colgate 42-17. Central Michigan over Akron 28-21. Bowling Green over Miami of Ohio 17-13. Old Dominion handed Coastal Carolina their first loss 49-21. Miami over Virginia Tech 20-14. Buffalo over UMass 34-7. Colorado got their first win of the season. They beat Cal in overtime 20-13. Ball State over UConn 25-21. Arkansas beat BYU 52-35. KJ Jefferson returned in this game. He threw for 367 yards and 5 touchdowns, but left late with a head injury. Liberty beat Gardner-Webb 21-20. Maryland beat Indiana 38-33. Scary moment in this game. Talia Tagovailoa was taken off on a cart in the second half and did not return. We'll wait to see what the prognosis is on him. Connor Bazelak threw 3 touchdowns for Indiana. Northern Illinois beat Eastern Michigan 39-10. It was Toledo over Kent State 52-31. Ohio beat Western Michigan 33-14. Troy over Texas State 17-14. UAB, who will be in Tiger Stadium in November, beat Charlotte 34-20. They are 4-2. Western Kentucky beat Middle Tennessee 35-17. Took 2 overtimes, but Michigan State topped Wisconsin 34-28. Tulane goes to 6-1 and 3-0 in the American with a 45-31 win over South Florida. North Texas beat La Tech 47-27. Washington over Arizona 49-39. Florida Atlantic over Rice 17-14. It was Utah State over Colorado State 17-13. South Alabama beat UL Monroe 41-34. Southern Miss over Arkansas State 20-19. Stanford beat Notre Dame 16-14 to drop the Irish to 3-3 on the season. Purdue beat Nebraska 43-37. East Carolina beat Memphis 47-45. That game went 4 overtimes. New Mexico State beat New Mexico 21-9. It was North Carolina over Duke 38-35. Tar Heels made all of their free throws down the stretch. No, I'm just kidding. They went to 6-1, 3-0 in the ACC. And Oregon State goes to 5-2 with a 24-10 win over Washington State. And that is your college football scoreboard. The Padres with a 5-run 7th now lead the Dodgers 5-3 going to the bottom of the 8th. The Dodgers have got 3 outs to get at least 2 runs, or their 111-win season is coming to an end. The other Major League Baseball scores: the Phillies eliminated the Braves today by a score of 8-3. The Astros eliminated the Mariners 1-0 in 18 innings, and the Guardians beat Jeremy's Yankees 6-5. Cleveland leads the series 2-1. And that's all of your scores. We'll come back. Game Balls is next. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them. The right card, the right care.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Game Balls. Game Balls. Game Balls. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team. WCK Foundation Repair.
All right, you're up.
Hard pressed to give someone on special teams a game ball today. Hard pressed to give someone on defense a game ball today. But I'm going to give the game ball to two guys on offense. And I thought the way Josh Williams ran the ball today really set a tone for this game and really kind of showed the same thing you talked about Tennessee showing. I know it's not against Alabama and kind of this the hold you've kind of had over that program, but I thought the way he ran the ball showed they were coming in the swamp and they weren't going to back down and they were going to be physical and they're going to play that team tough for 60 minutes. So definitely got to give a game ball to Josh Williams. I'm going to give a game ball to Kayshawn. I know a lot of people in this town think that guy has one foot out of the door, but I thought each week, he may have had some drops and kind of, not having the biggest season you want to have, especially in the year where you're probably not going to play another game of college football next season. I thought he came out on this road and set the tone as well, getting some big-time plays to start this game and making guys miss and doing kind of all the things we thought, he could do going into the football season. So, my 2 game balls, Josh Williams and Kayshon Boutte.
You're going to leave me the guy with the 6 touchdowns. I'll go ahead and take him. Jaden Daniels, 349 yards and 3 touchdowns. Your guy, Josh Williams, 14 carries, 106 yards. Kayshon Boutte, 6 catches, 115 yards. Daniels, 349, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 14 carries, 44 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I'm going to give this thing to Micah Baskerville, okay, because he had a bunch of plays tonight, 11 tackles, 7 solos. He had a sack, he had a tackle for loss, and he had another pass defense. But, man, he had as good a shot as anybody on that 81-yard run, and we were watching the highlights just came up in the last break, Jeremy. How many guys had a chance at Richardson on that play?
4 or 5. 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, Baskerville was one. But outside of that play, he made a lot of plays tonight. So I'll give to Baskerville and Daniels are my 2 game balls. We'll come back and wrap things up. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day, wrapping up. Tigers with a really nice win, 45-35 over the Florida Gators. This first time LSU has ever beaten Florida and Auburn on the road in the same year. Nice little nugget, nice little stat there for Brian Kelly at week number 1. They overcame adversity. Jaden Daniels had a great game. They made some big plays. They held on late. Good win. Tigers come back. Big home game with the undefeated Ole Miss Rebels coming to town next week before LSU goes into the bye. So going to be a lot of fun. Great day of college football. A big day in the NFL tomorrow. Jimmy Ott's Football Sunday at 10 a.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Leading into we got the Saints and the Bengals on Eagle, and then you got Bills and Chiefs. You got Cowboys and Eagles. Great day of pro football tomorrow. Hope that you're with us on Mondays. We'll recap the whole thing. Final score once again: LSU-45 and Florida-35. From Mike Taylor and Jeremy, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. It's actually quite early in the morning. Good morning. It's been a long day. Thank you, everybody. It's been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.